We're doing this because we're just searching for how the universe works. Astronomy is like a detective game. I can't touch the object. All I can do is gather the light from it. And then we use physics to tease out actually amazingly large amounts of information from just this faint light that we gather. I always wanted to teach at a liberal arts college. I wanted to have close contact with students. What made it even better is that Carls are great people.
It's been an absolutely incredible experience. I think that in the beginning I was a shy young freshman who knew not a lot about research, and now I'm walking away as a confident, independent researcher, and I owe a lot of that to Joel and the work that we've done together.
I'm just so honored to be at Carleton. The fact that faculty and staff work so hard to nurture and educate students, and I feel that the students benefit so much and appreciate the work that we do. So it's just been a tremendous pleasure.
When I first started, there weren't people hanging out in the lab a lot. When Sam Demas became the college librarian in 1999, this all changed because he was very interested in library as place. And as part of my job as assistant to the college librarian, Sam and I worked together on implementing plans for making the library a place. One of them was the Athenaeum, where we could have lectures and talks and musical events here in the library. The other was the program Art in the Library. This is one of my favorite pieces of art right here. It's a statue. It's called Woman with a Book. This is another favorite, and it's actually a bowl from a Norfolk Island pine. And sometimes, when the light is a little different, it's very translucent. You can kind of see through it because it's so thin. I'm most proud of bringing up the initial joint library system with St. Olaf. We worked very hard, the circulation staff at Carleton and St. Olaf, to get all of our loan rules, everything in alignment so that people could go to either institution and have the same experience. And there were people that didn't think that we could accomplish this, including the college librarians, and I think that it made all of us in loan services even more determined that we were going to do this.
Mujer al día de la partida, viéndola acometer la tarea de pintar las paredes de la... One of the things that I feel that I have had since the beginning is enthusiasm for teaching, and part of it is because I'm actually interested in what I'm teaching. So I love the language, so I love telling them, oh, this is what this means, or this is how you say this, or what if you were in this situation? Do you know another way to say that? Getting students involved in creative ways of doing things is entertaining to them, but it's also entertaining to me, and things look fresh, and I just enjoy that. I feel proud of introducing students to other cultures like Mexico, Argentina, Chile, and asking them to try to understand the literature and the culture and the language from the historical point of view and the context of what happens in those countries, because they learn something about themselves and about their own language as well, and the relative position that they hold in the world. Where they stand is where they stand, but they need to be able to understand that other people stand in other spots.
The most popular meal item is burgers. Of course, the kids always go for the cheaper things like the grilled cheese and the fries. Anything greasy.
And for you?
I've been at Carleton for 30 years. Today is my last day. I am retiring. Yoo-hoo! Being able to visit with the students and having lunch with various people, even the president of the college today, it keeps me young and keeps me going. The thing I'm most proud of is the building of friendships with my coworkers and students, and just opening up, because I was a shy, timid little thing when I got here.
I learned so many things from her. She is my mother, she's my mentor, everything. So I'm gonna miss her a lot.
We did things at Carleton and St. Olaf that were cutting edge. We were the first in the country to offer bibliographic software to undergraduate students. I remember premiering this in the CMC. It was Intro Bio. No one had ever seen it before. And when I got done, and their bibliography was instantly formatted in the style of the journal Cell, there was a roar in that lab that you'd think the Vikings had finally won the Super Bowl. John Tomasco, he came up to me and he said, make absolutely certain that this is an intro bio come September. So we had 3 months to get the entire program installed across campus. The people in IT at Carleton, I won't mention them by name because there's so many, but you know who you are. You people made it all work, and they're still making it work. And without that interplay of the librarians on this end who are teaching it and the IT people who know the background as to how does this work, without that, wouldn't have happened. It just wouldn't have happened. Thank you, Carleton, for a wonderful career. And as we say in my hometown of Buffalo, New York, it was one fine time.
There's 6 pieces of the protein, and when it gets in the bloodstream, where the concentration of these zinc atoms are very low, it falls apart and it becomes the active molecule insulin. I've been teaching at Carleton since 1987, so this is my 32nd year. I am an inorganic chemist. I teach introductory chemistry, chemistry for non-science majors, but I teach, my passions are inorganic chemistry and molecular orbital theory. What I'm most proud of my work at Carleton is the molecular visualizations and animations I've done to help with teaching and teaching students how to see what molecules do. The students are fantastic at Carleton. They're intellectually curious and fun and enthusiastic and very genuine, and I love that. I think also my colleagues are fantastic. And just the whole network of staff and faculty at Carleton is just really focused on the mission of giving a great education for students. So it's super fun. And there are times when I've literally watched my students take a quantum leap in understanding, and it's just this very inspirational moment.
When I started here, I was given a pen and a desk. I had to share both with 3 other people. From the days of never-ending, typing checkout cards, filing, and handwriting overdue notices, that's a far cry from the technology we all depend on today. I'm responsible for all aspects of the reserve operation. And according to my calculations, over the past years, I have circulated nearly 1 million items to students through course reserves. Now that could be an alternative fact, but I think it's pretty close. One thing that hasn't changed is my appreciation for all the great people I've had the opportunity to work with over the years. They've been friends, mentors, and colleagues, and I cherish those memories. And who wouldn't want to spend their day surrounded by books?
Welcome to Nutting House. Come on in. My favorite part of working here was the events, the planning, the cooking, doing the flowers, just every part of entertaining. Everyone we welcomed, from Pulitzer Prize winners to faculty groups, they were always fun to figure out how will I make this work. The Scottish dinner, there were some vegans. Google vegan haggis. It's a thing. I made it. In the course of 20 years, I worked for 3 presidents. Steve and Judy were so wonderful. They taught me so much. Judy knew so much about entertaining, and then Rob and Teresa Odine were here, and I really enjoyed working with them as well, making it feel like a real home. Paz Cancers came here, and that was a whole different dynamic. Pets, kids, It was wonderful. That was a whole different way of entertaining, more spontaneous, people coming over for lasagna. It's a very personal thing working in someone's house. They live right up there. They have to feel comfortable what's going on in their house, and I hope I provided that for all 3 presidents and their families.
I have worked for the college for 20 years, 7 in the Dean of the College office and 13 in the athletic office. I think of myself as an undercover agent. I help people, but I really don't want people to know that it's me helping them. I'm probably most proud of the relationships that I've developed with other people here. There have been so many interesting people to get to know, and I think that is such a gift of Carleton that that's something I'll cherish.
Linda is the most irreplaceable person in our department, bar none.
One of the best things I ever did at Carleton, in my 30 years at Carleton, was to hire Linda.
Since the day she got here, she has been doing a juggling act and she has not dropped a ball.
Linda is the glue to the behind the scenes of our department. I've been struggling with understanding college life for over 60 years, and Linda is the reason that I was able to keep doing it.
Linda, I'm gonna miss our afternoon walks. I'll miss hanging around with you, and I'll miss having another person who's way too young to retire leave me too.
Linda, thank you for making Carleton feel like home.
Welcome to Carleton. Delighted to see you. I'm the doorman. It's my role here. I open doors for students and people. I'm either the chief salesman, chief gatekeeper, chief provider of access to the college, or the formulator of an interesting group of students who will study here. And I just oversee this process. I still enjoy doing an individual interview. It's just fascinating to see what is on the minds of 16 to 18-year-olds and what makes them tick. So if I reflect on 30 years of doing admissions here and think both about what's different and what has stayed constant, well, the student body now is much more international, from maybe 1% to now 10, 12%. It's much more diverse, from maybe only being 12, 13% students of color of America, we're now up to 30% students of color in America. By having more representation across all the geographies in this country, we used to be much more Midwestern, 50%, we're now only 35%. We're equally represented by each coast. We even have Southerners coming up. They come in with an immense curiosity, an immense passion to learn, and a real kind of adventurous spirit and energy to participate in things. And that's spectacular. That hasn't changed. Every time I look at an applicant and sign off on deciding to admit them, I have the hope that they will come and contribute their own individual interest, talents to this place, and then draw out of the place a blossoming of their own distinct interests, and maybe in areas that they didn't even think they were interested in. And that's all part of Carleton, and it's an interaction that we're hoping for to happen. I have kept the habit in my time here of signing every admit letter personally. From the very first day, 32 years ago, when I sat down to sign letters, I told myself that we do this because we believe we're going to have an impact on young people's lives and give them an opportunity of a lifetime, regardless of where they come from. And that's both a privilege and an honor to do.